I've been listening to this tale about a dude named Ted, standing there just looking at the tools.
Okay, so we're going to pick up where we left off last time. I was working on my new impeller rather than using furnace box fan. And I tell you now that there is a bit of good news. However, with good news, there's usually some bad. So, with that in mind, I'll leave it to the very end for you to find out what the bad news was. Let's pick up where we left off. Here we have glue, and here we have the first sense of trouble. Go away. Get away from it. Yeah, I've got to figure out some way to keep you from getting on top of it, don't I? Anyway, I'm going to put some weight on it. And there, we have the benefits of working in your kitchen. Hope it's heavy enough. It should be. Just got to let the glue set. And then we'll try doing the 2 pieces put together. Since this is now 1 piece, and that's another. Okay. So when you've got to poke a 3-inch hole in a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and you haven't got a hole saw big enough, this kind of thing is what you use, I guess. That's what I've got. It's a little hard to hang on to with euchred wrists, but if I stay at it, I might finally eventually get through this thing. We're going to try some more. Persuader is in order. There we go. Now, I wonder what I can use to clean up that mess now. This first thing I should do is see how it fits over top of that contraption over there. I'm thinking it might be all right. Here, I can show you. So that's clearing all the way around. If I had to, I could move it a little bit that way. Probably should still do something to clean that up a bit around there. But focus. There we go. Aside from that, I'm pretty pleased. All I gotta do is figure out whether I'm gonna have to cut these little pieces off of my motor so that it reaches far enough in to do what I've got to have it do. And then figure out how you're going to reach in to tighten up that set screw on the shaft of that motor. First things first. Well, I think I'm about ready to set the pieces together on that and give it a test run. I still need to put a hinge on it and figure out a way to fasten it shut so that it doesn't leak air all over the place, but I think it should be pretty good, I hope. Try it and find out. Just give me a second or two to put it together. Well, you're about to see it at the same time as I am. There goes nothing. Some suction first. Ever such a little bit that way. Try it again. Alright, it's going to have to be fastened down a little tighter. I might have to do a bit of balancing, but it produces suction. Hope it's quieter than the thing I'm trying to replace. But anyway, it's been a fun little exercise. My contraption works. I'm most impressed. You can almost hear yourself think when it's running. So far as to say it has the strongest suction in the world, but it's stronger than it was with the old chop back. And it really isn't all sealed up yet. We'll see how things work after it's sealed up. Anyway, that'll do, pig. Well, it ain't pretty, but I think I got things sealed up. All I had for silicone was gasket maker, and I got this stuff. It's foam rubber. It's squishy, and I'm gonna put that back on here and screw it down as tight as I can. And hopefully, when everything dries up, it'll not leak anymore, or as much. Probably leak some around the top edge of that. I've still got to figure out what to do about that. This too shall come. Anyway, show you more. Okay, so here I am looking at this thing, trying to decide how to improve the suction. And I think I can think of a couple of ways. I've got a lot of clearance right there and there, but the top one doesn't matter as much. And also, I've got a lot of obstruction in the way here, in the way of that ramp that I built into this thing. It goes so the air comes in through here, catches our ramp, and goes around. I don't know that it needs the ramp. I'm wondering if the ramp is just an impediment to the airflow. So, I'm kind of pleased with everything else about the design. I think I'm going to take the ramp out. And I'm going to check and see while I'm in there if I can come up with something in the tube that comes up into here to bring it closer to the bottom of this. I don't know, maybe. This top piece is removable, so we'll see what I come up with. Show you more. Well, I took it apart. I realized that I hadn't put any kind of a finish on these, but they seem to be holding up pretty good. It seems to work pretty nicely. And over here, this seems to be sealed up fairly well, but I can tell I'm going to try to take these bolts out that hold that ramp that I made in there out. And we'll jam her all back together again. I'm going to see if I can get a measurement for exactly how far it is from the bottom of this to the bottom of this, and determine how much I can get away with putting some sort of a little lip on here. It'll make it closer to the impeller, just to reduce chance for losing air pressure as much as I can. Anyway, show you more. Okay, so it would appear that that little beastie there, he was sprung out quite a bit more than that inside, but was a bit of a misguided adventure. It trapped material like that between the wall of the can and the outside ring here. The inside didn't seem to have too much on it, but the outside was, yeah, it was slowing down the airflow. So, next trick, I'm going to see if I can figure out some way to reduce the amount of leakage around here, but still have it such that I can take it apart. And the same over here. It's dark as the inside of a cow over here. The same over here. This stuck in there pretty good right now. There it comes. Yeah, that just sits on a ring there, but you can see it's coming down in places. I got to try to figure out something better than that for that too. Anyway, I've got somebody coming over. They want me to cut some lumber up for them. So I'll take a break from this, and when I think of something, I'll come back to you. Maybe when I start putting things back together. Anyway, show you more. So, I've made a MDF donut, and according to my calculations, I should have about 1/8 of an inch of clearance. I'm not sure whether to put it here. Probably be best if I put it there, like so. We'll see how that goes. I'll try to fasten that down and seal up my split there from the bandsaw circle cutting jig. Okay, well, try that and see. Hopefully it clears it. Alright, got the donut in, got it silicone together so that it won't come apart. Now, pretty sure that's the orientation I need for this. And you may take note of the fact that I put some little bits of paint on this to try to protect it a little bit. And I think that's where it sits. Does it clear? It does, it does. Okay, well, see if we can put some screws back in it. Alright, see if we find the same holes or not. I believe I did. Set a spell before I provide power to it and try it or not. Silicone. I guess the worst that could happen there is it suck it in. It's got an opening here, so hey. Try it and see what happens. Would you believe it improved suction? Still not a powerhouse, but it does suck pretty good. Okay. I'll put the cover back on the switch. Take you down and show you around a little bit. So that's how I brace the motor and everything on there. And it seems to work quite nicely. And I've taken that business that I worked so hard on out of there. Plug the holes with some silicone. Didn't worry too much about the inside because all it's got to do is draw air through it. And you can kind of see inside there's no obstructions now. And I'm going to see if I can figure out somewhere, somehow, a way to get a better seal on this. Wonder what would happen if I just use one of these. But how am I going to seal that business up over there is another thing altogether. Well, I'll put my thinking cap on and see what I come up with. So this is attempt number 1 at trying to seal up the bucket over there. I've got this that I've cut that fits snugly around the bottom of the pail, or the collector. And I've got an old rubber inner tube that I'm stretching around the base of this, or the outside rim. I've got to tighten this up a bit over here, but I'm hoping it won't make too much bulk for it to go in there. And if it is a little bit much, I can make a slice under the back side and have it as one layer instead of two. It's a tight fit. It seems to seal all the way around. Next thing I'm going to try, set this on top. This thing, because you can see that I'm hoping it's tight enough. Whoop! Hoping it's tight enough for the bucket to fit into it and make a fairly decent seal. So. Well, it certainly works a whole lot better than it did before. That's working good now. I'm happy. I think the suction is pretty good. I think we'll call that one a success in 3D. All right, just a little follow-up. It works at least 100% better than it did, but there's always a but. This one, anyway, when I decided I'd suck some of the stuff from the bottom of my table saw out, it spewed quite a cloud of dust. Nothing big, just the little stuff. So I'm not sure what further baffling a person could put in there that wouldn't obstruct the airflow. Something like that, I don't know. Yeah, I've got some filter media there. I might try to make a box or something that will fit over the outlet and catch some of the dust, but I'm afraid that would reduce the vacuum too. Anyway, if you got any bright ideas, I'm open for suggestions. Anybody? The bad news is I kind of need some of that baffling, because it's great when you're sucking up chips and stuff like from the planer or what have you, but when you get into some finer stuff, it blows quite a cloud of dust. So I don't think I have actually got video of it spewing dust, but well, suffice to say, here I'll turn you around, I think. Yeah, I did. And look at the dust on this stuff. I mean, it was dusty before, but it wasn't that dusty. And I had already sucked some of the dust off of this with it. And you can see that it loaded right back up again. So, I have to reinstall my thinking cap, if you know what I mean. Got no hat. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Well, I do believe I've got a couple of more ideas about how to reduce the dust. I don't think it'll take a full video to show it, but maybe I'll put some snippets in my next video just to show what I'm thinking about and whether it worked or not. Okay? Y'all come back now, you hear?
Just looking ain't no fun. Let's pick one up and plug it in and see if it'll run. It did. Pretty good, too. Now old Ted's a happy guy 'cause he's got a pretty wife. Figures if he plays it right, he'll keep that gal for life. That gal, her name is Beverly, and he's her hillbilly. He's sweet on her, she's sweet on him, they're happy as could be. She's Beverly, he's Hillbilly, he's Beverly's hillbilly.